Hi, it's Gadget UK here again. This time, a look at an exciting product from Bitmap Bureau. Yay, Xeno Crisis again. Now, I was going to do the AES version of this before this, combined with this version, but the way things are going to transpire, I'm going to cover that with the SNES version. There's a bit of dust on there, look, I've not even opened this. So I got this last year, sort of, I don't know, around summertime, July, August maybe. Yeah, I went for the PAL version, so there's a few different revisions. You can get the special edition, you can get the Japanese version, the US version, I think, and the the PAL version that I've got here. So anyway, let's open this up and give this a go. If you've not played Xeno Crisis before, well, you must have been living under a rock. But if you're new to the retro scene, or just getting into some of these things after a period of time, you may have missed it. It's an amazing game. It's kind of like based a little bit on Aliens, it's like that sci-fi sort of thing where, you've got some space marines and firing off waves of aliens invading your bases and things. It's a really cool game. I've got the Mega Drive ROM. I purchased that in the Kickstarter, and I got the, what was the one? The Dreamcast ISO. Yeah, you can see I've creased that. I'm not really that fussed. I'm not a massive collector in terms of, making sure everything's absolutely pristine. I prefer these things to be used and played, and telling a tale, I guess, when someone eventually picks it up in future. So I've got the cartridge there. Doesn't that look nice? And we've got the manual. We'll have a look at those things in a minute. I'll put the postcard with that as well, just out of the way. Let's take it out of this little plastic bag. Keep that. And I'll switch the N64 off, take the Everdrive out, and get Xeno Crisis in. So a quick look on the back there. You can see you've got Bitmap Bureau logo and the sort of standard information on the back there, some sort of B indented into that. So it's got the same sort of security things you get there on an original cart. And it looks, for all intents and purposes, original, doesn't it? It's amazing. So that should just plug straight into this PAL unit, switch it on. And we've got the Bitmap Bureau logo. It's a good start. English. Just turn the volume up. Oh, we got the speech and everything. So that's more in line with the Neo Geo version. I think some of the prior versions don't have that. I'm not sure the Mega Drive does, actually. Wow, it sounds fantastic as well. I love the music on this. They did such a good job of all of the presentation stuff, the artwork. And it's a really well-rounded game. I just love it. There's been so much attention to detail put into it. So we'll go with blue, female. Yeah, you can either go male, female, and you can have blue or green. That looks just like the Neo Geo. And this is the thing, the N64 was a pretty powerful system. So let's see how the controls work here. So, okay, yeah. So for firing, you just use this here to get the directions. So that's quite cool. And obviously you use the analog stick here just to move around. So you can shoot in the 8 directions reasonably easy. Obviously you need to press combinations of a direction sideways or an up and down, etc. to get the diagonals. I'll try like a diagonal up there. Look, but that works really well. And actually, I think this is perhaps one of the best control options I've had on this game, which is crazy. I never thought I'd say that, because I hate the N64 controller, if I'm honest. It's just this weird thing, isn't it? I'll show you in a minute if you've never seen one, but it's got the 3 sort of handle sections, but this controller works really well with this game. It's kind of lends itself, the shape of it, to dual stick type games like this. Yeah, far easier to control with this stick, or this gamepad, versus other systems I've played it on. And as I say, I've got it on the Mega Drive, I've got it on the Neo Geo, AES, MVS, I've got it on the Xbox, got it on PlayStation 4, I'm sure I've got it on something else. I mentioned the Dreamcast, didn't I? I think there's a GameCube version, and there's the SNES version, as I mentioned at the start, which is due any day now, really. So of course the aim is to, kill all the aliens, don't run out of ammo. When you do run out of ammo, more ammo spawns. get special weapons spawning and stuff, which help. You've got grenades, you can roll to avoid shots. When you do run out of bullets, if you press the fire button as you know near to an enemy, you will melee it. They've got a special weapon there, look, heat seeking. Anyway, I'm sure you've seen it all before. Nevertheless, if you haven't, it's well worth checking out. So I think this cost me about, I think it was £56, which, yeah, you can argue is a reasonable amount of money for an N64 cart. But I mean, try and buy second-hand N64 carts, you're probably going to pay more of that, you know, for one of the original games. So I think it's really good. Just trying to work out what the buttons are. So yeah, the left shoulder button there, it's probably not classed as a shoulder button, that does your slide like that, so you can slide past stuff to avoid it. Yeah, I died there because I was too busy looking at the pad. Let's just see. We can probably continue here, maybe, can we? How do you continue? Yeah, you've got to hit start. Let's just see if we can work out the grenade buttons. Yeah, it's B. And A rolls, so you've got two buttons there that can quickly help with getting out of a tight corner. I think I'm out of grenades, am I? Yeah, I am. I'm going to die again now, aren't I? Yeah, the one thing I would say, whilst the dual direction thing works really well here, using this to fire and then the the analog stick here to move, I could do with like the grenade or the roll or something being on these trigger buttons or on that button. So let's just see. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm imagining it. Let's just continue again. Let me just try those. Yeah, so the Z one or whatever it is, the underneath, the main trigger, that does the slide roll thing. It's just the grenade I'm struggling with. Yeah, I'm struggling to find the grenade. It would be really cool if that was the grenade. You might be able to change it to do that. Just take it down with a grenade or two. There we go. Yeah, I got there in the end. It took me 3 credits, but I was messing with the controls. And of course you get this ranking at the end of the round here. If you play exceptionally well there and do it really quickly, you'll get like an S, I think, or an A. I think an S actually is the highest you can get. Yes, you've not got speech there, but I'm not sure you do on the Neo Geo version either, actually, at that point. And in between rounds, you choose your power-up so you can have more health, more ammo. And of course, this stuff relates to how many dog tags you collect. So you collect the dog tags from the fallen players, and then you can spend them there to permanently upgrade your character between levels. And you need to do that because it does get quite hard as you get further into it. You need the extra health, you need the extra ammo, and the other different types of power-ups as well. I think one of them gives you like a gas mask. When you get to the point where enemies can poison you, you will significantly benefit by having that particular upgrade, trust me. And of course the enemy variety changes, and you've got a boss at the end of each round, as you just seen me deal with the one on the first round. It's perfect, I love it. It is just as good so far as the Neo Geo version. You could even argue maybe the sound is marginally better, because the thing is, it's probably a bit easier to get that PCM type data for the soundtrack onto the N64. You think you might have less space, but I don't think so. I am dead again. I do love this game, I can't sing it enough praises really. Hence why I bought it on so many systems. I suspect the SNES version is going to be much more akin to the Mega Drive version. So, I mean, it may have some of that speech on the intro there that we saw on this version. I don't know if there's going to be enough space on the the cartridge there on the SNES. So yeah, very similar it's going to be, I think, to the Mega Drive version. And of course, between all of these different formats here, the resolution's subtly different and stuff, isn't it? And the colour depth. So this is, as I say, very colourful, just like the N64. The Mega Drive has a few limitations there. I think it's probably not got as many colours as are seen here in this version. At some point I may get the GameCube version, because I think there's a GameCube version. But I suspect that that's probably just like a quick and easy port from this, actually. I'm not sure how much compatibility the GameCube had with the N64, or whether it was totally different platform. And that's obviously going to dictate what kind of port it is. Was it just like a nice quick and easy port where there's use some level of compatibility, or is it a thing of its own? You can see if you don't get those dog tags quick enough, they disappear. It's the same with any of the power-ups and health packs and things. If you don't get them quick enough, they will vanish. So you've got to be pretty tactical, and that's what I like about this. It's not just, mind-numbing shooting. You really do have to think about tactics of how you deal with certain things and get out of tight corners. And the tactics get more relevant, really, the further you get into it. Because you start to get a lot more enemies and different types of enemies, and you've got to think carefully about what you deal with in what order. And similarly, the bosses. The bosses get to the point where they're not just like this here, just sat there firing in a certain angle. You've got to start adding a bit of strategy to deal with them. Oh, yeah, trying to find that grenade button I find incredibly difficult. Let's just have a look at the control options, see if there's any other way to set the controls. Hang on, let's just hit reset. So if we look into options, we've got difficulties on hard, audio, controls. Yeah, so you can change this. You've got 6 button 1 or 6 button. Hang on. Yes, I mean that changes it quite radically, doesn't it? Yeah, the shooting remains on there. It's just the buttons that are changing here, isn't it? You've got the roll, grenade, roll. So what I want is R to be the grenade, and that's what that's doing. So let's give that a try. Actually, that might. Hang on. Was it gone now? Oh, 6 button. Yeah, I think 6 button 2 might be my sweet spot here. And you've got vibrations. Did you see that? So it supports the rumble pack as well. So let's give that a go. Yeah, see, if that was the grenade there, and that was the roll, I'm not sure it will be, but that would be my ideal thing. Because then I can use those to fire. Hang on. Yeah, so hopefully those are going to be fire still. Yeah, they are. That is the grenade, that's cool. And then the thing underneath, oh, that's a grenade. Yes, I've got grenade. I don't know why we've not got roll and grenade, because, I don't know, that would have just made so much more sense. So yeah, you've got the vibration stuff, show score, difficulty, you've got easy and hard. I think you can unlock a harder level once you've unlocked hard. And in order to do some of the stuff, you've got to get like a 1 credit completion, not lose a single life all the way through it, to unlock like the proper endings and things like that. And I think, the extra difficulty mode. So you can do 2-player as well, 2-player at the same time, I think. Yeah, you can. You both select your individual players there. So let's load that. It's in the format of Z64, 64 megabytes. Select to start. I assume it's megabytes. I don't think it's megabit. That would be a lot smaller. So let's just turn this up a wee bit.
Commander Darius, we have a code red distress signal from Outpost 88.
Wow.
We have no time to lose, Lieutenant.
Be interested to know how they've done the music on this. Is it, a bit like they did with the Neo Geo? Did they sample it in some way? I mean, it's stereo and it's really clear. But you see, the GameCube, is a wee bit more advanced than the Neo Geo. So, audio, music, sounds, announcer. Yeah, so you can get to all the different tracks there. Sounds incredible with the Nintendo 64 version. The music on this game is just amazing, it's phenomenal. That's one thing that you'll get from Bitmap Bureau games. They not only come up with really good ideas for the games and really nice implementation, but Amazing music, some really amazing soundtracks. These are games that if they were released back in the day, they would have been top sellers, you know, like top of the charts for weeks, I'm sure. Everyone would want to buy it, without a doubt. That sounds fantastic. That's amazing. I love it. It gives me chills, this game, when I hear certain tracks. It brings back all of the nostalgia and the shock and the excitement I had when I first played the Mega Drive version. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this game, if you've not worked that out already. And Bitmap Bureau. Let me just go back. Hang on. I want the music off. Go away, music. No. The music is... Right, there we go. It's a bit quieter. That music was overloading me. So we've got the voices. They sound crystal clear again. These haven't been like down-sampled from the Mega Drive version. They've taken the original raw files we've got and they've been resampled for this. They're way clearer than, say, the Mega Drive version. And I would say clearer than the Neo Geo. Let's give the N64 its due. It's more than capability than a Neo Geo. Overall power, ammo, and that's it. Exit. Yeah, so there's some strategy involved there, as you know, well as the skill and working out how to kill things. But you need to think about what you put your power-ups, you know, put your currency into in terms of power-ups. I'm going to die again in a minute, aren't I? What I might do is play this for a little bit and report back when I get a little bit further into the game, because I'm about to run out of lives and credits, I think. There we go. Right, level 2 boss. I've lost a couple of credits already, believe it or not. I am getting a bit better at understanding how to use the controller to my advantage. Of course, the idea here is to avoid these spikes, and they do follow a pattern. It gets a bit faster as it loses its health. Yeah, I quite like this third level. I like the music on it. Yeah, you get these things that go under the ground, look, and you've got to avoid them while they're digging around like that, and then when they pop up, you've got to, well, watch out to fire at you straight away, so you can, you know, be firing in your direction. So it takes some getting used to the roll mechanism on this. Yeah, you really do need to get good at using the roll. And try and dispatch these things as soon as they pop up, otherwise you can get overwhelmed by them. It's an amazing port though, it really is. The colour, I think, is really vibrant in this as well. It really pops on this version. But you know what? The AES versions and the NDS version are equally as colourful. You must have used some of the Neo Geo assets for this, but maybe not, because you know the resolutions are different. So I actually think we've just gone back to source artwork, source sound files, you know, and it's its own version, really. Some work may have been done to upscale some of these things, because you might not have had them in the resolutions that we're using here. But if that kind of work has been done, I'd say you've done an excellent job of scaling things. I mean, to be fair, there's probably not much dissimilar, you know, size difference between the screen resolution of the AES and you know, this. Yeah, and I'm using the cheat menu here to select my starting area. They built the same cheats into each version of the game here. Which, you know, it's how you get into the cheat menu that's sort of different, but you can find how to do that online. Just do a search for Xeno Crisis, you know, cheats on whatever version you're playing. Of course, one downside to starting on a harder level at the beginning like this is I haven't got power-ups. Yeah, so you'll find it harder to kill them. Again, I love the music on this level. Was it Savage Rain when someone did it? It's incredible. It really is incredible, the soundtrack to this game. Oh god, dead already. Quite like this boss. This is one of my favourite bosses, I think. Oh. Oh. Yeah, it's a while since I've played against this boss. He does quite a few different things. He fires those things out, fires projectiles downwards. And then he changes back again, I think, to kill him at the second time. Wow. That will take me some practice with this controller. I got a rank S there, surprisingly. Well, that's because I didn't lose a life, and I didn't lose a life because I'm cheating. So, more of the story. Skip that. Yeah, we need to put it to weapon power. And actually, I can't. Why can't I select that? So again, completely different types of enemies and different strategies required. And we're up to the boss here again, level 5. So on to level 6, I think, isn't it? So in the research lab you've got these sort of robots and things. It's quite a fun part of the game, this actually. I quite like the lab part. These kind of remind me of like the Mission Impossible game on the C64, I don't know, with all these little robots and droids and things like factory type things, you know. It's easy to get overwhelmed again on this level though. And you get the zombies, look, those are quite cool. And when you, just before you kill them, they actually get back up and come running at you. Like that. And on to level 6 boss. This is quite a cool boss. You've got to sort of circle around and use your direction fire to fire at it in the right way. Hang on. It's better with twin sticks, definitely. It's a bit hard. The default control scheme here. And watch out for those little turrets and things that pop up, because that makes it hard. And look them out on there. Yeah, so I think that this is the last level before you get like the boss and things at the end. These things are like camouflage, look. That's quite a cool effect. To knock the shields out of the hands. That's quite cool. I forgot about that. I'm just crap at it with this controller. Yes, by this point in the game, you've got to really master the controls. And testing the rumble pack again here with fresh batteries. If I lob a grenade, yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear that. I'm going to put it onto the camera and then you'll feel it vibrate. You ready? Lob a grenade. Yeah, it actually moved the camera, didn't it? There we go. So it's working fine. And it gives a really good level of vibration. You just can't hear it very well, you know, unless you get really close to it. Right, so let's have a look inside this. I'm going to use... Look at that finger. Yeah, I'm going to use these rubber gloves here, just because of the metal shield. I don't want to get gadget grease, if that's a thing, from my fingers all over the shield. I'm sure Anthony put that finger up like that. These came from Anthony Jordan. And you know what? I should be thinking twice about using these gloves. Like, have they been used for anything more fun than playing N64 games in the past? I'm sure they haven't. But Anthony very kindly sent me these with a load of other stuff in the middle of COVID, and they're extra tight for maximum grippage. Get that on. Yeah, anybody who does gloves in channels, I'm talking about you, RMC Neil, with his black gloves. It's like you must spend I don't know how much time putting them on and off and have sweaty fingers. This is not going to be irregular on this channel, trust me. But it will be with, well, where I feel like it's needed. For example, these I would wear if I was taking an LCD screen to pieces, or a Game Boy or something like that, where I just don't want fingerprints on the screen, on the glass, on the internal parts of the screen, etc. In this case here, on what is an unopened, hopefully, pristine cartridge with a metal shield. My fingerprints, greasy gadget prints on it, will corrode the chromated shield. But it might not be chromated, it might be just like, I don't know, aluminium or stainless steel or something. But anyway, so the hinge at the bottom, these down there, you can see the little clips there. There we go. So you pull that part down, and there's the shield, look. So we now need a Phillips screwdriver. Just going to use this. This is the iFixit toolkit, by the way. There'll be a separate video of that. What I've tried to do with that is every time I use it, I save the little clips, hence this one, and then go, look, I've used it in hundreds of different places and it's really cool. And it kindly came from John Gotts. I believe he contributes to iFixit stuff, but nevertheless it came out of his own money. He sent me a donation and I bought that toolkit because he was trying to convince me you should try and get one. They're really good, and he's right. The iFixit toolkit is really good. So how does that come off there now? I think this is only the second time I've been in an N64 cart. There'll be a link top right to when I looked at that GoldenEye cartridge that was faulty, and already I'm blown away. I mean, it's small, but look how nicely precision manufactured, and it's just perfect. It's a work of art. This is the other side to the amazingness of Bitmap Bureau games. Not only do they produce amazing games on so many of these platforms, and it doesn't end with the Xeno Crisis. You know, there's Final Vendetta that may get ported to one or two of the beefier systems, things like the GameCube, the Dreamcast, the N64. I don't know, I could be wrong. But then you've got, you know, future games as well. Things like, you know, maybe Xeno Crisis 2, I would hope. So having a look at that, it's got a nice expansion chip. They like using expansion chips, don't they? I think that's exactly what's on the AES. And I looked at the AES cart before I sent that PCB off to Bitmap Bureau. Actually, there'll be more about that later in the video. So hopefully they'll be able to fix the char PCB I've sent back for the AES version. It was very kind of them to send that. And you know, it's just kind of reminded me, I've taken far too long to get around to look at the N64 version here. This is like almost a year after it released. The SNES version's been out for a good 6 months and I haven't looked at that, but that will come up very soon following this video. But my apologies, sincere apologies to Bitmap Bureau, because they sent me the AS version free of charge on the back of the work that I did helping them with the sound issues on the MVS version. It shouldn't have taken me so long. I've had lots of real life problems. Some of the people in Discord and Patreons know about some of it. Lots of trauma going on, lots of stress, and I've just had a massive backlog as I moved into this new environment here, and it's taken just an incredible time to get to that point where I came to test it, and unfortunately, yeah, it didn't work, the AS version. So yeah, just incredible look. It's totally clean, nice and tidy. That looks like a serial flash ROM. I think it is. It's going to be using I2C to write to that. So I think the settings are saved. And I thought that because when you saw me load it before and I selected the language English, it never asked me the second time. You could probably reset it somehow. But I suspect it maybe saves high scores, settings, etc. And we've got some, what I think are going to be, and I don't know from the part number there, they're going to be level shifters, aren't they? Yeah, to translate logic levels, because this is going to be 3.3 volt stuff on here. There might be somewhere a 3.3 volt regulator, and I think it's that there, actually. Might not be, that might be a Schmitt or something, actually, because it's 5 pin. Let's just turn it over and have a look on the other side. Yeah, there's nothing on that side. Yeah, I think that's got to be a regulator, actually. The fact it's right next to this cap here, I think that's a 3.3 volt regulator. And again, another level translator. Oh, it's not, that's a HC139. So that's logic. It's a DMUX or a MUX, that, isn't it? Logic that might be required to do bank swapping, bank switching on the ROM there. They use quite a large ROM. And there you go, HC574s. That's like a latch, isn't it? I think. Or something like that. I'll stick the exact description of what that is up top left. But yeah, anyway, nevertheless, that's the spansion part you can see in use on this. And then I think these, there's a HC574 again. And that one's a HC193. And yeah, as I say, they're tiny, Atmel tiny. Which I think is a flash ROM. Could be a small MCU though, actually. I don't know. Again, I'll stick top left what it is. But, look at the PCB. It's really nice. It's round, it's smoothed off and stuff on the edges here. It's pristinely clean. This is what you'd expect of, an 11 out of 10 manufacturer for this kind of thing. And there's the description of stuff there on the silk screen. N64, 512 megabit, discrete version 0.3, 2022, 4th of the 8th. Really nice. And there's nothing on the underside apart from, obviously, the layout here. Yeah, if you do take your cartridge to pieces, your warranty is going to be voided. I mean, I have the ROM for this, and that's the other thing. If you buy the cartridge version, they'll send you the ROM. Well, at least they did with me. So, I might be wrong about that, but I think they do. I think they give you the license to use the ROM. So, if, like me, you've got an Everdrive, you can use it on your Everdrive as well as, the original carts. And that's just a convenience factor, the thing more than anything, that I can actually use the ROM, or I can actually put the original cart in. Oh, hang on, I had that just right. Yeah, I think that's right. So I think the wider side of the black plastic there goes at the top, and then everything just sits in place, and it's, let's say, it's cleverly designed here. It must have taken a while in terms of engineering that, to get all these pieces of plastic all lined in the right places there. But it's precision. This is the thing that I love, not just about how amazing their games are. It's about the attention to detail in the manufacturing, the assembly, everything to do with production, shipping, the artwork, the boxes, the cases, the shells, the PCBs. It's just like, I can't sing Bitmap Bureau's praise enough. And I'm not just saying that because they sent me the AES version. And whilst we're back on the AES version again, I'll talk about that. They also kindly sent another MVS version. They let me keep the version that I was testing with, and I think they upgraded it to a full thing with the instructions and everything and all that stuff. And I sent that to Mark Fixer's stuff, because Mark had just gone through a trauma where his house had burnt down. Now, Mark did kindly say thanks, actually, when I joined one of his live streams at some point, and as soon as he saw my name in chat, he said, oh, thanks for sending that MVS version. But he's not got around to thanking Bitmap Bureau, or me, actually, on a public video. And that's not me being critical, I'm not. I know Mark's got a lot on in his life. He's recently said he's going to be changing how he's doing things. But yeah, watch Mark Fixer's stuff. Hopefully at some point he might get an MVS and be able to show that and provide his thanks to Bitmap Bureau, really. But like everything in life, it's finding the time, isn't it? But Bitmap Bureau are just incredible. They also sent a version of the MVS version to Stephen Leary, because Stephen Leary was one of the key people that helped me understand what might... Is that back on in place? I'm not sure that's right. Yeah, Stephen was kindly one of the people that helped understand the actual nature of the problem with the MVS sound. so that they could fix it. So they kindly, again off their own backs, sent a copy of the MVS version to Stephen Leary. So Stephen may have shown that briefly on his channel, I don't know. And I think Stephen's still trying to assemble an MVS cabinet, but Stephen's had all sorts of things going on in his life, which has meant things have, you know, a bit like Mark, things have not progressed as fast as he would have liked. Stephen's always very busy on the Terrible Fire stuff. So yeah, check out Stephen's channel down below as well as Mark's. You may see the MVS versions on their channels at some point in future. But I'm hoping to look at the AS version if I can, the guys at Bitmap Bureau can do the magic and fix the charboard on the AS version they kindly sent me. And I'm so sorry it took me so long to get around to doing these videos. Anyway, we're all back together. I love it. So 11 out of 10. I'll now take off these sweaty rubber gloves, look at that, you can see, and put them away. I think I'll air them first of all. I'll let them air for a bit. So let's have a quick look at the manual here. I have had this out, I think, just have a quick look. And again, the presentation quality is just excellent. It's just like anything you would have got back in the day. You can argue the paper's a bit thin, but they're all like that. They were all like that. The print quality is excellent. So you've got the introduction there, how to play, you know, and it is just, you know, a twin stick shooter really. You know, you use one stick to move your person around and the other one to shoot in a specific direction. And there are a number of different control settings. I did go into the controls and swap a few of the buttons around and make it a bit easier to play, but it's quite cool. Yeah, and a bit about the characters there. I never noticed that on the other versions because I don't think I've looked at the manuals before. Yeah, and there's stuff about the different enemy types here. That's quite cool. And all the different weapons and power-ups and things you can get as you play through this. BFG is quite cool. Yeah, and all the different equipment things that you want to level up, you know, that how they affect you as you play the game. Rescuing the hostages, other pickups and things. And then a little bit about the different levels in the game. So you've got the perimeter where you start, the facility, the forest, the lab. And then it talks about when you run out of ammo, you can do a melee attack, and you've got a roll cancel. I didn't realise that. Although evasive roll is perfect for dodging bullets, enemies alike, you may wish to break out of roll early. Just simply push the roll button in mid-roll. Oh, that's quite cool. So if you think you're going to roll too far, just press roll again and you'll stop rolling. It's really nice, isn't it? Yeah, I've got fingerprints on this now. This is the problem with these manuals. It's the same with all manuals. Your fingerprints make a mess. And to be clear, I bought this. This is a game that I purchased. I wasn't sent it for a review or anything. They've sent me, let's say, some things in the past. I purchased the SNES version as well. The Game Boy Advance version is out any day now, from what I understand. But I've also got the AES version. They sent me this. There'll be a video on this, or hopefully there'll be a video on this. At the moment, you can see there's no PCBs in there. There's a graphic issue. I stuck this into my AES. First play, first try. Sprites are all messed up on the enemies and things. And I tried a few different AES carts. They all work fine. Just this one. So I think I was just unlucky in the fact they sent it me and I never got around to testing it. Came to test it, the charboard didn't work. So Mike said, send the board back. And in fact, originally he said, send them both back if you want, and I'll check them both. I'm like, nah, the other board's alright, it's just the charboard. If you could do that, that's great. So I've left it with him. He's had it for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, but he's right in the middle of, obviously, a lot of releases. The Game Boy Advance version of this. There's a new beat-em-up for the Neo Geo coming out, which, again, I may show because I might just show the PC version. I don't know whether I'm going to get the Neo Geo version. But nevertheless, this game is amazing. It's on so many different platforms now, including the Switch, the PlayStation, the Xbox, as I said, the Mega Drive, the SNES, the Game Boy Advance, the Neo Geo. It's incredible. Dreamcast as well, and the GameCube. Did I say GameCube? I honestly don't know. But the love that has gone into every port is just incredible. If you've not got this game on any platform, go and get it on your favourite platform. And if you have got it on one platform, consider getting it on another, because there are differences between them, but it's just such a cool game. And it's not overly priced either. I mean, you pay a lot for a Neo Geo cart in general, but compared to other games on the Neo Geo, it's quite affordable. Anyway, hopefully we'll have a look at the AES version coming up, and they sent me some goodies with this as well, so that's covered in that video. Anyway, I do hope you found that quick look at Xeno Crisis interesting. You know, it's not a full review here. I'm going to do more of a review when I look at the other few versions. I think I'm going to compare these versions side by side and do a little bit more of an in-depth review. Primarily on a system where I can control it a little bit easier. The Neo Geo is one that springs to mind. Yeah, so there'll be links down below to Bitmap Bureau where you can buy this game. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to support the channel, please see the Ko-fi and Patreon links down below. I'll catch you in the next video.